going to be using to control your bus.
So
there's
you have.
this little T button here, so that's the tone. So 95% of the time, that's what you're going to be using to communicate to the dog. So it's place, come, sit, down, heel, whatever the command is, that's what you say. The other thing too, yep. So T stands for tone, so the black T button.
So it only does one, it's only one.
Yep, so one tone and then that's it. So, because they know everything, so you shouldn't have to ask more than once.
It's that come.
Yeah.
So that's basically like, that's basically you use that to get their attention, or they don't listen to what you're saying?
Both.
Both.
So it's Gracie, come, and I'm going to tone this 3 times, and then she's going to, obviously not right now because she's in place, but they know, they hear that beeping sound, like, okay, that's my warning, that's my attention, where I have to go and do what they said.
Okay.
So I only hit that once unless it's recall. Recall's we tone 3 times. Everything else is once.
Okay.
So, right, you give them that opportunity to follow through, and then if not, and they're disobedient, then you have to go right to the correction.
Right.
Yeah, and you'll see what we mean when we practice everything.
We do
There's
that.
2 stim buttons on this side. This one's the working number, and then this red one is called the boost. So right now, if I hit this black stim button, it's going to stim her at a 17.
Okay.
If I hit the red one, it's going to add 20 to whatever the number is set to. So it's going to be 37. Yeah, so this is like...
So the red is to add.
Yes, so red is the boost. So it's the emergency button.
use
You're
that
going to want to hit that, yeah. So if you have her in the yard, and let's say the fence is open or whatever, and she sees a squirrel, she runs towards that, that's when you would hit the
You hit
boost
the
button.
red, okay.
Well, let's say she was off leash, whatever, and got out with DoorDash, which she probably shouldn't do because obviously you guys were pretty strict with that, so was I. But if for whatever reason that door's open, she bolts out, you hit that boost, and she's going to come running right back.
Okay.
Black first and then the rest.
Yeah.
So we want them to think that whatever decision or action they did at that moment caused that discomfort. So they'll get to the point of, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the vibration. Right?
This is the stem. So if they're walking her and another dog comes out, she goes, boost. They know it's unacceptable.
And the rest of the walk would not be like that ever
Yep.
again.
Just a quick buzz, or
That's
is
it.
it you hold it in?
Nope, just one tap.
You hold
If
it-
yeah,
so
you
it's
can
just-
hold it for 10 seconds, but for that,
So you
just
do
need one button.
the black and then the red?
Nope, just the
Just
red.
the red.
Mhm,
Oh,
just the
okay.
red. So red is for like higher level offenses. The
Okay.
black button's for like low level stuff. So if she broke place, I would just hit the working number and say,
Okay.
go
Think
place.
Oh, I thought you were saying you have to hit the black and then hold it, and then the red.
Think
Like
of-
hold in the black and then press.
It's like you, the black one basically is like, I'm done repeating myself.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you, I keep correcting. My nose not working. You step off that floor is loud. Boom.
Yeah.
Enough is
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they haven't moved this whole time. Because they think in their mind, okay.
Because they know
It's
it.
loud.
Exactly, yeah. So this little dial here will change the number. Every dog has a working number, and I always joke and tell my clients, don't marry a number. Because it will change no matter where the dog's at. Obviously in here, it's just us. There's not that many distractions, but you go outside, there's birds, there's dogs, there's cats, there's people, there's everything, you name it. So to get their attention, you might need to go a little bit higher. But for Gracie, she's pretty sensitive, so I probably had to go anywhere between like a 10 and a 20 for her. This one is even more sensitive, so he'd probably be like anywhere between like a 5 and a 15. Yeah. I've had dogs shut down on a 4 before, so every dog is different, so just keep that in mind. The numbers are going to change, so don't
Feelings
stick
change.
to one number.
So for now,
Go for it.
you said with him, stay between 5 and...
You can feel it. You'll see
Around,
it.
yeah. And the more you work with it, the more you'll be able to tell, okay, that number did not work because he didn't feel it, but this number did. But they're pretty submissive when it comes to that kind of
Gracie
stuff.
was what you said, 20?
Yeah, anywhere between 10 and
10,
20.
20.
Depending on the feeling.
13 and 10.
Yeah, feelings change, so the numbers will change. So, any questions?
So
So far-
do you keep that collar on them all the time? You know, like when they're sleeping, you take it off?
No, and then,
You
well,
leave it on?
yeah, like if you guys are at work and you leave for the day, they can come off.
But if you
Or
plan on
like
going out.
overnight, yeah, you can take it off. But obviously, like they're with us all day, they're here most of the day, so the collars are on. They do say, especially for like short-coated dogs, I know pitties are a little bit more sensitive, to switch the device every couple hours.
Yeah, just spin
so
it
that
around.
way they're not getting, stim, and the problems come up. 'Cause they can get hot spots if it's just sticking on one spot.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you have your watch on with one hand like all the time, it's kind of rubs your
It's
skin
like
a little
shaking,
bit.
yeah. It's
So that
not
can
skin,
happen,
so.
but as long as you switch it every couple hours, they'll be fine.
Yeah, we move it around.
What about the
Yeah.
So he was asking if they could sleep in the same crate because they usually do, and I'm like, yeah, I could take it or leave it.
For safety reasons, I don't have 2 dogs in the same crate. But again, your house, your rules. So if you want them to be in the same crate, that's totally
No.
fine.
It all comes down to as long as they know that you're in constant conversation with them, whatever it may be, because we basically taught them English.
Right.
So now we have to make sure that you guys know how to speak the same language. So whatever you want them to do, it's up to you. But as long as you say no, I don't like that, and yes, I do. I don't mind that. So as long as you disagree in a way that they understand, you could do whatever you want. But if you see any red flags or something that's questionable, you better immediately jump on that. Because your dad's now, so it comes down to you. You want to be their buddy, or you want to be their dad.
Alright, so what we do with our obedience is we practice through the 3 Ds. That's what you're seeing in all of our videos. So it's distance, distraction, and duration. Gracie, sit. So basically what we do, we tell them once, that's it. Then you start applying that distance, you start doing the distractions where we're making all kinds of noise, stomping around them, and then the duration is how long they can hold it. So like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, so on and so forth. So each command, that's what we practice with their obedience. So I'm just saying it once and then that's it. If you say sit and she just stands there and looks at you and you're like, alright, what's happening next? You can either chime with the e-collar or do a little flick of the wrist with the prong. Yes. So what I like to do when it comes to healing and sit, I just do a little flick of the wrist with the prong collar because it's a little bit more useful. Sit. Yes. Good girl. So it's not a negotiation. Like, alright, we're walking, I'm stopping, we're sitting.
She's like, all right, I'll go over here instead.
They give her corrections. So I'm on a 10, but she doesn't feel it. So I did sit on a 10, but she didn't even bat an eye. So I know she didn't feel that. So I'm going to pop it up to a 13. So I told her to sit, and I didn't give her the break command. So we don't teach stay just because with the duration, we expect them to hold the command until we release them. So we use the word break. So basically what that means is you hold that command until I say break, and then you can move forward. So I didn't say break, and she broke, so I did follow through with the correction.
You got all that? Because that was pretty fast. You got all that?
So you say sit. She sits, and then you say stay.
No.
You don't say stay.
It's
no,
implied.
We teach the duration so we make them hold it.
Okay.
So now we're setting those expectations for the command. So it's sit, you stay there, and then when I say break, then you can come
That's her
forward.
job.
So she's
Sit.
sitting, she's sitting. Gracie, break! Yes! Good girl! So now so the break command is just saying, okay, the exercise is complete, you're free to leave.
Right.
So, but if you don't say break and she gets up and like, all right, we'll lay down here, then you follow through with the consequence because you didn't tell her to go walk around.
How good is she staying?
You know, pushing her butt down, and she just wouldn't.
Yeah.
She gives.
So with down, it's a little bit more of a submissive move. So sometimes dogs, they feel vulnerable when they go down, so they're a little bit hesitant to go all the way.
Especially around distraction.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem.
No, yeah, especially with his food in your hand.
Well, no, he gave us a fight in the beginning.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Because he didn't know it. He didn't know where we are. He doesn't know where he's going. And we're like, down, lay down. He's like, I can't. I'm stressed out. I'm anxious. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So they fight with us, and they realize you can fight all you want. We're still going to ask you to down. And then when they do it, and we're happy, and they go, oh, okay. Then it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier.
No.
So
So she's like leaning, how far can I get out of this down? And we see me, so I'm just like, no, go back into it. Alright, we're done. We're done talking. Alright, so with place, this is my favorite command because you can literally do this anywhere. No.
she's like, you said place. And she's plop.
Yes.
Yeah, good girl. She loves those things.
So obviously I really nailed this one. But my favorite command. So with a place, there's 3 things that make a place object. So it has to be higher than the floor, it has to be different texture and different materials. So one thing I tell my clients, you can't have your dog here and be like, okay, place, and then place, like it doesn't count. Like it has to be on an object somewhere. So it could be her bed, like Ray said earlier, like a towel or rug or anything. It just has to be elevated from the floor. And then they're supposed to stay there until you say break. And they can hold this for a really, really long time. Like we can be up there doing consults and team meetings and everything like that, and the dogs will stay on those place spots until we're like, all right, let's go break.
You can't make that roll.
I'm here training.
So,
To me. But when we put in the cord, that's the part, which is the dimension you had.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
you'll see what you
Like
want.
a jelly.
So see a little bit shorter.
Yeah, so the other thing too is you also can watch your pitch. So if you're like, Tony Cox,
especially with him.
He's like, I don't know, he's not kind of pissed right now. So you want to make sure it's like super enlightening. You want to make it fun for them, so they're more willing to come to you.
Does he play?
Heel and deep at the same time. That way it's to the point.
Heel.
Heel command too is you also want to watch your pace, so you can do fast, slow, opposite of what the dog is doing, and also your turn. So the reason why you do opposite of what the dog is doing is just to tell the dog that you're in control and he is not. So a lot of times one of the biggest complaints I get is when the owner is walking the dog, they're constantly lunging the owner, and then they have all these bruises on their knees because the dog's just headbutting the whole time. So if you're walking him, he's constantly getting in your way, just push him back. So if he's headbutting your knee, push him in him. So you want to make sure that he understands I'm supposed to be following, not leading and determining where this walk is going. So that's with the pace too. So if he's going super, super slow, pick up the speed a little bit and then get him back on your side. Vice versa. If he's going super, super fast, get his attention. So all right, slow it down a little bit and then get him back on that left side.
And the leash, how should it go?
So it should be short but loose. So that's perfect line right there. Because as soon as you have that tension right here, this is making it super tense on him and he's feeling this, so then he's not going to be engaged because you're like, there's a lot of uncomfortable tension here, like I really want to do this, and then you're going to start having all this extra behavior. So short leash, foot loose. So right there where you have it is perfect. So it's got a little bit of slack in it, but you have a good position with your hands. If you need to correct and you need to get control of him, he's not having that extra freedom to get away with it, and then the communication's going to be messed up.
Okay. Yeah.
I always say, like, flick of the wrist. So it's super short and quick. You don't have to do it. No, like leash pop and yak. Because a lot of times people do it the prompts, is they just leash pop, leash pop, leash pop, leash pop. The dog's like, I hate all of this.
Right.
And then eventually they get habituated to the leash pops, and then it's not useful whatsoever. So just super quick flicks of the wrist.
Good.
Excellent. There you go. Perfect.
Just
You
down.
see the quick snip?
This is right.
Yep, that's perfect.
But for him to go down, just down.
So tone it down.
Down.
There you go.
There.
Excellent. Yeah, so that was going back to what Ray was saying too. You want to make sure everything has a hand, like signal, so they know. So I normally do sit, or Ray does sit. So whatever you guys choose to do. I mean, once they hear the vocal and everything like that, they know the command, so they'll follow it regardless. But it's down, sit. I always say come for recall. So Tony come, Gracie come. Place, so you're pointing to where they want to go. So she's focused on him right now.
Gracie, break.
Good girl. Come on, baby girl.
Nice. Tony, please.
No.
Tony.
Yep, so it's going back.
Exactly what happens.
Tony.
So he wanted to get a little bit in control there. So we do is just no correction, get that, and go back and place. This is really easy now. So if he starts to get up, tell him no, stick with that black button, and then if he gets up again, bring him right back. Same way when I first started handling dogs, I'm like, what am I saying? Like this hand, you're supposed to hear. So when you first start doing it, you're gonna be a little flustered, confused. But the more you work on it, the more you guys practice it, like muscle memory almost.
Gracie, break. Break.
Yep, so make it a little fun. So Gracie, break.
Break.
Yes, there you go. So I'm putting on my voice is a little bit more high pitched.
Tony, no.
So that
Tony, no.
So where's
Tony,
the
place. Tony, place. Hey.
Yep, so stem him, grab his
Place.
leash, put him back.
Tony, place.
Yes, you see he's avoiding, so that's when you, so I'm only going to tell you that once, and then I'm going to say place once, and then that's that. So you got to be a little bit more tough.
So I skimmed him and he didn't do anything.
Were you hitting the T button or the black
The
button?
S.
So you might need to double dress in both, or when you're dressing alone.
Okay.
Like, no.
Uh-uh.
So stand.
See, that's I'm gonna have to mentally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Tony, break. There you go.
Oh.
So he's a little bit hesitant with it, so if this is the case, just grab him.
I mean, we're not gonna have a leash on for a while.